What's up, guys? Jordan McAbee here, fantasyracingonline.com, and today we're going to talk about the Bristol Dirt Race. All right, the day's finally come. We get to watch these cup cars go around on dirt. I was really hoping we'd get those heat races in so we could kind of see these guys racing against each other and not just, practicing kind of by themselves. We didn't see too much side-by-side action. Definitely not what we're going to see on Sunday or whenever they get this thing in. There's going to be all 39 cars on the track, and there's going to be action all over. Typical Bristol, it's a half-mile track, so the leader catches the tail end of the field quite quickly. It should be pretty wild. Starting lineup, we got Kyle Larson officially on the pole. He's going to drop to the rear at the start of the race. They changed an engine in that car over the weekend, so he'll have to start in the back. Definitely limits his dominator potential, but, he's still the heavy favorite to win this race. So with Larson dropping to the back, that's going to put Blaney on the front row with Denny Hamlin. Basically, the whole inside lane is going to move up. So Blaney, who was going to start third, will now start what was first. Truex will start third. They all move up. Bowman starts fifth. So Blaney, Hamlin on the front row. A few things to talk about. This whole race is, I'll be completely honest, like this week I was working on Martinsville stuff already. I cannot get pumped up about this race at all. I can't get interested in it. I'm not at my best when I don't have past data to somewhat analyze, any type of data. And we only had a couple, practice sessions, which gave us awesome stuff this week. But just throwing that out there, I put up my normal content and everything, but I would definitely say my mind isn't in this race. I'm not playing as much as I normally would in any other race. I'm kind of just going to enjoy it, enjoy the Easter weekend off, and then settle in and get going for Martinsville coming up. So a few things to talk about before we go into any lineups. One big question is, should we look at previous Bristol data, for this race? And Kyle Larson's crew chief made an interesting comment on Friday. He said that he thought previous or normal Bristol information could be useful here by the end of this thing, just because of how the track was acting and how the track looked after practice. So I won't say that I didn't look into previous, like the last 2 years of Bristol data, based on that, and didn't rely too heavily on it, but it's definitely something to consider. I think this is still Bristol, and it could be very I don't want to say useful, but just I think it's something to keep in the back of your head. And it's one reason why I'm kind of heavy on Kyle Busch this week, and I think he's going to be really good. One, because I think he is very strong in new situations. He adapts well, and he's been really freaking good here at Bristol over the last couple of years. But anyway, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Keselowski, Logano, top four when it comes to average running position. That's what this chart is sorted by right now. Pretty much everyone, no one, it's very rare to have like a bunch of good races here at Bristol in a row. Eventually, something's going to happen to you. Last four races, though, average finish, Kyle Busch, 2.8 average. Kurt Busch, 8.3. Nobody else with lower than 11. Hamlin there with 11th. Fastest laps, Harvick has the most over the last 2 years at Bristol. Kyle Busch's up there. Then a pretty big gap here to Elliott and Keselowski. Laps led Kyle Busch leading the way with 360 over the last 4 races. Keselowski 328. Harvick 254. Fastest lap. So that's one thing. We're not quite sure, where these fastest laps are going to come from. What we saw in the dirt races in the truck series, so the dirt race at Eldora, is basically, the leaders were fastest, of course, until they caught lap traffic, and then it was kind of spread out. We'll probably see that again in this race, but honestly, like I said, I don't really know. Not 100% sure. Another thing is how much of a wreckfest is this going to be? Like I said, these cars weren't racing during practice like they're going to be racing during the race. None of these guys are used to driving these cars on dirt. This could easily become a caution-filled wreckfest. We could get a caution every 10 laps. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Another thing to consider, how long the tires are going to hold up. So NASCAR made a change to the stages this week. They moved them to first stage is the first 100 laps, second stage is to lap 200, and then the third and final stage is 50 laps. They're also throwing competition cautions in at lap 50 and lap 150 due to the tire wear that we saw in practice on Friday. This track was eating tires up, and if that happens again, I wouldn't be surprised if teams had tire issues. Now, the rules with this race, they're not allowed to change tires or add fuel except for the stage breaks, I believe. And obviously that's different. If they cut a tire down, they can come in and change it. Bob Pockris said they can only change that tire, though, if they come in under green. But if you come in under green at Bristol, you're screwed. So another thing to consider, could this end up being a build your lineups like a Daytona or Talladega, and you're just going for place differential because, people are going to be wrecking all over. That's possible. That was the previous one, wasn't it? Tires, talked about those. How long the track's going to hold up. So I don't know if you guys saw. I don't have it pulled up here, but who was it that tweeted out? There was just a massive crater in the track after practice. And that was only, like I said, that's only practice. And now there's 250 laps that they have to run. Here we go. Jamie Little is who posted it. Look at that. I don't want to say NASCAR doesn't know what they're doing, but they might be a little in over their head. Definitely with this first dirt race at Bristol, and just with how everything's going this weekend, it's going to be it could be crazy. It could be, a lot of times we talk about, this race is going to be crazy, and then it ends up being very underwhelming as far as on the craziness scale. I just don't. It's hard to imagine this race not being a little wild on Sunday, for sure. And another thing that is noteworthy is we saw it in practice. We saw Ty Dillon get a little too low on the track and absolutely destroy the front end of his car, or the front left end, front driver's side end. That could easily happen on Sunday during the race if the guy's trying to pass someone, and gets a little too low and just tears up his car. So, so many variables in this race that are kind of unknowns that definitely makes it. Because of that, I'm not going to be playing my normal amount. I'm just gonna enjoy the race, or try to. Does Eldora Truck Series experience matter? I don't think so. I don't think it matters a lot. It's something to talk about. We don't have much to talk about this week because there's no data, but the trucks aren't the cup cars. The modifieds aren't the cup car. I don't think we should get too wrapped up in uh, these guys driving all these other cars. Yeah, it's great that they have experience, but how does it translate to success in the Cup Series? The fact of the matter is, these are like the best drivers in the world. They're going to get it figured out. And while there may be wrecks, it's not like, oh, because because this guy ran the Truck Series a few times at Eldora, he can avoid these wrecks, and he's not like, no, that's just not how it works. How much should we weigh practice speeds? It's definitely something I think it's a double-edged sword. Well, maybe not a double-edged sword. It's great to have practice to look at. Awesome to have practice to look at. I think this also, though, creates where people are going to rely super heavily on those speeds, and with, we're essentially looking at a bunch of 50-lap runs on Sunday in the race, and not like a lot of teams didn't even run like 15 laps in practice. So, definitely don't look at the 1 lap speed and even 10-lap. We can pull those up, but we really need to know how these cars go on the long run. So I can understand looking heavily and weighing practice speeds heavily. I would be cautious. Don't rely completely on them. Not to mention, when you look at all the speeds from those practices and kind of average everybody's out, there were a few that were definitely faster than everybody else. Kyle Larson was, wicked fast as expected, but pretty much everyone from, I'd say, outside the top 5 in those averages were super close. Like the next 10 drivers, super close right there. So yeah, just take the practice speeds with a grain of salt, I guess. And then should we build lineups with a super speedway place differential mindset? I think that might not pure, like I don't think the backmarker cars are going to do anything this week. Yeah, great. They're dirt ringers, but they're still going to rely on they're still going to need wrecks and craziness to happen to be in the optimal lineup, and even then it's going to be tough. Like, just because they're a dirt ringer doesn't mean that that they're gonna that they're gonna get Timmy Hill's car to the top 15 just based on dirt talent alone. Like, I think there's definitely it's possible to make a place differential lineup with good drivers and good equipment, and that would I don't see anything wrong with that. Maybe building a 1 dominator lineup or 2. Definitely 2, I think, is going to be the way to go in DraftKings. But I could see there being a 1 dominator lineup, especially if laps led are spread out, or if dominator points overall are spread out. And then we have Kyle Larson, who should, he's still the heavy favorite to win this race. That's one more thing we could have added here to the questions is, what do we do with Larson? He's going to have to go to the back. He's going to start in the back. How fast is he going to make his way through the field? He's still going to be scored from first, by the way. Can he get fastest laps while making his way through the field? I don't think so, but I could be wrong. It's going to take him a while to get laps led if and when he gets up there to lead. And after that, I could definitely see him racking up fast lap after fast lap. It's just, how long is it going to take him to get up there? And is he worth it? He's definitely still the guy to beat, I think. My algorithm has him second. Super close up there with him and Denny Hamlin. So it's got Hamlin, Larson, Kyle Busch third, Ryan Blaney fourth, Christopher Bell. It's got William Byron projected to finish sixth. Truex seventh, Logano eighth, Bowman ninth, Austin Dillon 10th, Chase Briscoe 11th, Kurt Busch 12th. As you can see, these power index numbers are a lot lower than normal, just because there's not a lot of, I'd say, confidence this week and clarity on who's going to be the best. But let's get into let's go with DraftKings first. So I don't love my DraftKings projections this week by any means. They're quite conservative, and just with so many unknowns, it was hard for me to really zero in on any drivers, and especially when making my lineups. These it's hard to tell who the dominators are going to be this week, I think, just because we don't know. But so using these projections, the top lineup that an optimizer spit out would be Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott. Oh, where are we at here? These salaries are kind of crazy this weekend. That's wrong. I wrote down FanDuel first. That's my FanDuel projected lineup. DraftKings, we got Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., and William Byron. I hate this lineup. Maybe, there's just 4 of the top 8 starters and then 2 place differential plays. It's hard to see that working out. It's very hard to see that working out. I don't hate dropping Byron and grabbing Keselowski, but you're still stuck with 3 guys starting in the top 5 with this one. Not how I would build this at all. Yeah. So let's take Dennis out of this. I think Truex. I wrote up Truex as a tournament play, so we'll keep him in there. Take out Kyle Busch. Now let's go down to. Let's say we did keep Byron in there. Where am I at? Am I blind? There we go. Gives us money to grab Tyler Reddick, so you could do Truex, Byron, Reddick, Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, Keselowski. Keselowski's kind of a wild card this week. I'm not 100% sure, what to expect of him. You could then grab Alex Bowman, who looked really strong in practice. Oh, by the way, we didn't really look at practice. So, do that quick. First practice, 10-lap averages. Kyle Larson, half-mile an hour faster than Alex Bowman. Truex, Elliott, Custer, top 5. I always like to look at these from laps and 2 laps. That can have an effect on your speeds, definitely. Especially in those sessions where the track changes a lot over it. Not that we've had to actually look at practice in a while. Again, Larson, best 10-lap average in final practice. Hamlin was up there. Reddick, Elliott, Bowman. From what I saw, the Hendrick cars were good. I didn't like their speed on the super long runs. Elliott, I don't think even made a super long run in this final session. But it's hard to see. That's one of those things. Like, they didn't look stellar, in my opinion. I thought Gibbs looked really good in practice, and of course Larson. But you can't really ignore Hendrick's speed right now. I don't think you can. But getting back to this, I actually like this lineup quite a bit. So we got Truex, Bowman, Byron. This is like complete, not not targeting like Larson or any of the expected dominators, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, but rather going with Truex here. I don't hate it. I think Truex has dominator potential. I think Bowman has dominator potential. if Byron can pull off a top 5 finish, that's how this lineup works. Is if Truex and Bowman dominate, or if one of them get a significant dominator potential and the other one, I mean, they both have to finish top 5, and then Byron, maintains or moves up a little bit, and then Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, and Tyler Reddick just kind of do what we expect them to do and get those place differential points. That's how I see this lineup working. My projections really like Christopher Bell, and I do too. It'll be interesting to see what kind of ownership he has on Sunday. I have him projected at 30.5%. Oops, wrong one. What was I gonna do here? I also really like. It's hard for me to trust Denny Hamlin, and I probably should, but it's hard. Of course, 100 off from being able to afford Briscoe with this. I could definitely see Newman being in the optimal lineup this week. So again, we got Kyle Busch, Elliott, Kurt Busch, Newman, Briscoe, and Bowman. If you took out... So the thing with Larson is, again, how many... he's going to have to score Dominator points. And he's definitely risky. He's starting in the back. He could get damage at any time. I actually really like this lineup right here. I'm going to write it down real quick. Briscoe, Elliott, I think Kyle Busch has definite upside. I like pivoting off of him to Hamlin. I don't really like putting them both in the same lineup. But I mean, they definitely could. Hamlin could lead the first 50 laps, and Kyle Busch could lead the next 50 laps. It's hard to tell. But strategy wise and building a lineup, I definitely like Kyle Busch better, starting there in 4th. Let's do a lineup with Larson. So when you get Larson, you're gonna have to dig down here to the lower priced guys. One guy who actually didn't look kind of solid on long run speed, I thought, was Corey LaJoie. I also didn't hate Anthony Alfredo's lap times, but it's still Anthony Alfredo. So let's pair LaJoie with Larson, and it's going to be hard for me not to throw Kurt Busch in lineups. So when you're building a Larson lineup, you're pretty much banking on him to get, later in the race Dominator points. So in my head, I think you need to also have the driver that gets those early race Dominator points. Similar to what we saw at Phoenix. Definitely Phoenix in the fall last year in the championship race. Elliott had to start in the back. We knew he was going to get up there and probably dominate. So who was the replacement dominator while he wasn't up there? And it ended up being Logano, who started second. Very well could be the same situation here, where Hamlin's the early dominator while Larson makes his way through the field. So by having Larson, Kurt Busch, and Hamlin along with LaJoie in this lineup, it leaves us $8,050 per driver for the last 2 spots. Obviously, Elliott's the chalk play there, and I could get you down to Byron if you wanted to, or Newman. Like I said, I don't think that these, Wyndham or Marlar or Golobic are going to be worth anything without this being a crazy race, which it's one of those unknown variables. Even Ty Dillon, I mean, obviously he's a very safe. Ty Dillon is a super safe play. Starts dead last. He, he has decent equipment with Gaunt Brothers. I don't think it's great, but at that price, can't score negative points. So definitely safe. And this, if you throw Ty Dillon on this, which I don't like, Ty Dillon and LaJoie in a lineup, so let's not do that. I'd probably go, Byron here, honestly. So that leaves us Kyle Larson, Kurt Busch, Hamlin, Elliott, Byron, LaJoie. If you took off Larson and LaJoie, that leaves you $86.50 per driver remaining. Stuart Friesen is in the 77. I think he has, decent equipment, but not decent enough to go up there and finish top 10. Can he finish top 20? Possibly. Even that, I think, is a little bit of a stretch without getting some help in the form of, Rex. I like Briscoe and his equipment. I think Stewart Haas will have some good cars. So, excuse me. Let's move over to FanDuel. I know this video is going to go up on Sunday morning, so there's not a ton of time. I'm actually feeling quite a bit more confident in FanDuel lineups this week than I am DraftKings, in case you couldn't tell. Still not super great, but projections have Christopher Bell at the top, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch definitely underpriced this week. Should be really strong play as long as Denny Hamlin doesn't freaking wreck him again like he did at Atlanta. And I don't like what William Byron priced at 4,500. Like, FanDuel, if you're watching this, reach out to me and I will make your salaries for you. Like, this is just getting dumb. You can tell like exactly what they do. They look at the opening betting lines and then they just plug and play for their salary. It's put like a little bit of effort into this, man. But anyway, so based on my projections, top lineup: Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, and William Byron. And then you can obviously, if you didn't want to go Byron, go Almirola or go Chastain, Suarez. My projections like Byron the best. I love that price, and this allows you to stuff in, Bell, Elliott, and Kyle Busch all into one lineup. I think it's going to be hard for Kyle Larson to be in the optimal for FanDuel without getting to the front quick and then also winning the race. So I think the strategy for FanDuel is going to be picking the guys that, definitely have top 5 potential and will finish there. I don't think focusing on the laps led and dominator here is going to be incredibly important. It's late. I don't think focusing on the dominator points is going to be the absolute best way to build a lineup this week. I think you just need to focus on place differential, finish position, and the dominators will probably end up being there if you land on the right guys, obviously. If you didn't want to go Bell here, so if you didn't want to go Byron, I still think, Kurt Busch is one of the most solid plays on FanDuel this week. What does this leave us? 9,000. Byron had really good practice speeds. Bowman had really good practice speeds, but Bowman's one of those I could see people jumping on that band. Like I'm I always talk about Alex Bowman. He's one of my favorite DFS plays. Definitely was. He paid off last week at Atlanta. Thank you very much. But now people are going to be talking about him. People are going to see his practice speeds, and everybody's going to jump on the Bowman train. That's when I jump off for a week, typically. Still think he has solid upside. Just that's where I really consider how heavy I would want to be on him. But let's throw Reddick on there. I think Reddick has top 5 potential on Sunday. And I was hoping, you could throw on Chase Briscoe to finish out this lineup of Elliott, Kyle Busch, Reddick, Briscoe, Kurt Busch. If you didn't want to do that, I was going to see if I could grab Truex, but I don't really want to do, a Truex. You'd have to probably, if you wanted to keep Reddick, you'd have to also dump Chase. But I don't want to pass up that place differential. So let's do again, you're looking at 2 drivers in the top 5. Don't particularly love it, but you have that place differential play. If Hamlin and Truex are the 2 dominators and finish top 5, and one of them wins, this one could work out. Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Kurt Busch, Tyler Reddick. What if instead of Kurt Busch, we went William Byron, and that could, there's Christopher Bell, so Christopher Bell, Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, William Byron. Overall, I like the I like the first lineup that the optimizer spit out with my projections of Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, and William Byron. If I get into any FanDuel, single lineup contest, that'll probably be what I enter. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up this week. Enjoy the dirt race. Enjoy the Easter break, and see you back at Martinsville. Should be, hopefully this is a good race on the dirt, but we'll find out soon enough. Good luck. See ya.